Someone said, "Why am I going to pay $500 for a picture of a hobo?"
I always thought Kyle Beckerman was a good player.
Fire sticking their foot in it.
They said they were going to cut my food rations.
Cork soaking.
There is no possible way to articulate the malaise, the lack of ambition, the way it's felt for so long to be a fan better than he did. Welcome back to the Enemies of the Fire podcast. I am FC Neo Tokyo. That is DPG. We are sans Jaymes this evening, and which is a shame because we have a huge show for you. Copa America alone, there was nonsense at the gates. There was a weird soccer game. Messi's ankle is exploding. It was madness. Can the U.S. host a World Cup? I don't remember if 1994 existed. Also, the Euros ended and Harry Kane still doesn't have a trophy. Ha 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 ha. Funny. Anyway, and then lastly, the Chicago Fire. DPG, how are you doing? How did you get a chance to watch Copa America? It came on a little bit later than we thought.
I did. I got to watch Copa America. I did read about, or afterwards, or during the match, kind of heard about the issues they're having at the gates.
Man, I saw that on Twitter started going nuts, man. That kid, I think he's a Chicagoan, by the way. That tactical manager on YouTube and Twitter, he was the one that had most of the footage that they were using to talk about it. He had the video of the people climbing in the air ducts and people climbing over the wall.
You know what this reminded me of? Like, I saw that and I seen the people at the gates like pressing off. It reminded me of that one time I went to Honduras to watch the Honduran national team play against Mexico. The chaos it was. Your ticket didn't mean anything anymore. I didn't care.
It was the Thunderdome. Get a seat, bitch.
Yeah, you find a seat wherever you can. And that's exactly what happened, in this game. And you saw people crawling in this freaking vent system to try to get a seat.
Wild stuff. Now, I got to admit, man, this hits really close to home because this becomes an intersection of things I care about. Yeah. I hate capitalism, but I also feel like don't rob from people, rob from capitalists. So it's like I love that they snuck in, but I hate that they sat in people's seats who paid. Right? Do you feel me on that? These tickets are ridiculously expensive. They shouldn't be. They're the security.
Granted, I'm sure if they reached out to security, the security will escort, whoever sitting on your seat. But
no, they didn't. Not until halftime.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so not until halftime did they do that.
Ooh, okay, so never mind. This comes to show the organization that they did for this tournament. If this was used as a test run for the World Cup, we're in trouble.
We'll see. Okay, so the discourse online has been a bunch of people defending America because they're like, hey, man, my feelings, dog. We can run a tournament. It was CONMEBOL. And then CONMEBOL's like, yeah, well, we paid for their cops, and they suck. ACAB, brother. So, you get both sides, and it's like, I don't know, man. I live in America, and I don't feel like we do a lot of things great. And I was the one, I think, in one of the very first episodes of the show that said that posed the question: would we see the first mass shooting at a World Cup in 2026? But it was just a failure all the way around. I mean, I felt like I was going to see Monterey security on the back of their shirts. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'll tell you this. I think Monterey would have done a better job.
Right?
Than whoever was running the security at that place in Miami or whatever. So, honestly, it's the fact that you cannot control the crowd. The fact that, you couldn't start, for lack of a better word, start segregating people by sections or whatever, or try to put some order in. And you had this mass of people just there. It's sad. It's sad. we cannot host a World Cup with this kind of security system. Like,
well, what do you do?
what are we gonna do?
What do you do? I mean, I honestly feel like we're seeing two things happen. Like, dude, why crush people? Like, I'm always that guy who just kind of casually walks up. Like, I'm not running in to get in line. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't understand why you got to be a jerk. But
it
also,
wasn't even like general seating.
But also, we also see, you know, we've seen it in our politics, and I don't want to bring that up, but like, the illusion of security is just that, an illusion. If you bum rush an entrance, enough people are gonna get in. You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta bum rush it, and it's like the only thing that keeps this fragile thing we call society together is the social contract of not being a douchebag. You know what I mean?
Unless either that, or you know, you have cops in full body armor with shields, and then after that, good luck.
Oh, they didn't
man,
expect that. It was Florida. They were like, whatever. It's just a stupid soccer game. What do they care?
Man.
So apparently the president of the FA got arrested.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
for fighting a security guard.
So
was he trying to bum rush too?
No, apparently what little I saw, I love this whole podcast. Our whole brand is just wild speculation from odd shit that we've read hot headlines to. But what I heard was he somehow coordinated and/or gave the idea of like, yo, why don't you all bum rush? There's not enough Colombian fans up in here. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that, because you would think he has. Okay, here's a real question: does a FA president have diplomatic immunity?
I don't think so. I was thinking about that. I'm like, man, that man's gonna get his visa suspended or taken away for inciting a riot.
God, this is why Copa was good, man. Like, this is why even the U.S. crashing out so early was even more bad, because it's been so much fun. This is like, and yes, I understand. The good news is no one got trampled. It wasn't like a Guns N' Roses Metallica 1991 concert. You know what I mean? Like, people didn't get trampled.
It wasn't an FA Cup semifinal.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, like, people didn't get trampled. People weren't, like, from what I've seen, I haven't seen any real reporting yet of any injuries or major injuries. I'm sure people got scratched and, you know, fell and ankles and this, that, and the other.
Sure, but the pickpocketers having a field day.
Oh, I'm sure. But then again, like, how are you even robbing people nowadays? Everything's just on the phone.
Everything,
But good
luck taking a debit card. It's going to not work in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, give it 5 minutes and enjoy your popcorn. So, all right. So, again, how do you feel about the United States hosting the World Cup in 2026? And like, you were a person or are a person who has been trying to purchase tickets.
So here's the thing. I hope that I have that ability to buy tickets in about 2 years. I would like this to be like a very special moment between me and my family, you know, my kids. I would like them to see a World Cup. You know, I was a kid in USA '94, and I could probably safely say that, you know, due to we didn't, due to our current financial situation back then, we weren't able to go see a game, you know. But now I have that opportunity to take, you know, my son, my daughter, my family to go watch a game. And I would like to do that, but I also want them to be safe. And I hope that whatever happened in this Copa America, you know, is a lesson to what's going to happen in the World Cup. Like, if you think that people are going to bone rush, then you know what? Maybe you might have to have police force out there. You know, get them some shields, get them some body armor, and hey, if you need to direct traffic, by all means, do so.
Well, may I interrupt you to ask this question?
Yeah.
Does it depend on who's playing? Because like, and I will preface this by saying I have really disliked seeing all of the finger pointing being at like, oh, it's just the Colombian fans. Like, I think that's bullshit. But with that said, like, does it matter who's playing? Like, if we see, you know, if England is playing oh God, that's a bad example. Anybody, but like if we're seeing like warring countries play against each other, do you think that's less safe than say Sweden versus the U.S.?
So you see warring countries play against each other. I mean, that's obviously considering that political tension, you would think that there will be more police officers out there. There'll be more security out there, and not just around the stadium, but you would think that there'll be security outside, like beyond
Well,
outside the
wait. I
stadium.
mean, we think that, but like, I mean, not to get political again, but I mean, are there budgets for that? Is America really like? Are the people who are elected currently and/or about to be like even into spending money? You know what I mean? We make a lot of assumptions having lived in this really nice, comfortable bubble of America for a long time.
I mean,
and once it's like that a business. Once you get to that third generation of owners,
but I think honestly, especially with the whole, everything's going on, especially how how things have been in this country after 9/11, terrorism will be
Fair.
a big thing. Don't be surprised if you see bomb sniffing dogs and drones flying around.
Definitely drones everywhere. Stingrays probably all over the place.
Yeah. So, in that sense, it's probably gonna be more security. Especially you don't want this World Cup to be known of as the World Cup that of a terrorist attack or something bad really happened and whatnot.
Yeah, you don't want like to be. Yeah, you don't want the Munich of
you
World
don't
Cups.
want the Munich. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
And
so that's kind of why I feel that there might be more security. There's probably going to be a lot more security, and this Copa situation kind of was a lesson of what should be avoided and how to prepare for it. Especially for the cities that are hosting World Cup games. Especially any any mayor from any of these cities should probably be like, okay, look what happened in Miami. What can we do to avoid those steps? What can we figure it out? We know we're gonna have
hold on. Do you think Brian? Jesus Christ, I don't even remember anymore. You think Brandon Johnson woke up this morning and even gave a fuck what happened in Miami or even thought about it?
No, because he's not hosting the World Cup.
Fair. Okay. I feel you. All right, so I think we've beaten that to death.
Yeah.
How about the game? Did you enjoy the game itself? Let's stay in this
physical.
happy little this shit sandwich of like shit and then happy and shit.
So it was a crazy game. It could have gone either or. I just obviously Argentina was better technically placed. Like they know what they were doing. Colombia was trying to do something on a breakaway.
No, I felt like Colombia was setting the pace early on in the game, which did not last as long as they needed it.
That was very physical.
Well, physical is their yeah.
That's the South American MO.
Yeah, it is. I can't believe I watched this game and I really enjoyed it, and then I realized I didn't write a single note. I didn't really remember much of it, but I really enjoyed it. My heart sank when I saw Messi come off, when I saw Messi try to cross that ball and get checked into the into the grass. I didn't care about Messi. I just cared about seeing Messi play August 31st.
So, and what's interesting about this is that, on both sides, Colombia and Argentina, some of these guys are playing against their teammates in their club teams, which is weird because you're battling somebody, and then in a few weeks you got to hang out with this person for 6 months together.
Yeah, but like if you're a professional athlete, you're like competitive to an nth degree that we don't understand as mere mortals. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm sure you're used to it because you're playing your teammates in everything other than soccer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like I want to beat you, but I don't want to beat you bad enough that you're not going to be there to help me win the Champions League.
Right. I mean, who stood out? I mean, I I said on another podcast I felt so stupid later because I was like, oh my God, do you realize that Julian Alvarez doesn't start for his club team? Don't they have another striker? Yeah, duh. Martinez, dude who has been awesome in Serie A for however many years now. Yes, that guy.
Inter Milan.
Yeah. So he comes on and gets the goal. It was a good goal. Like you know what it was? It was a good game. There wasn't a ton of mistakes all over the field. So
No.
like it came across a little boring at times, but it was a well played game, and I wanted a different outcome, but you can't say Argentina didn't deserve it.
No, it's not, and it's one of those things where you have two will probably argue one of the best, some of the best teams in the world, in top 10, top 15 probably, fighting out with each other, and they're not making mistakes. Like, Colombia is not going to lower its guard down because they know who they're facing. They're facing Argentina. They're not facing, Jamaica or anybody like that. They're facing Argentina. They're not going to lower their guard down. They know what they were doing. It was very physical. Physical enough that it pretty much took out Messi and made him cry.
That was wild. Like, he's won this tournament before. It'd be different if he was Harry Kane, right? And he like I would be. I
you know what? Another thing too is he's a World Cup winner. Like winning a World Cup is like the ultimate.
Yeah, but
dream.
these tournaments. See, we have too many Gold Cups, and you've lost the idea. These continental tournaments are supposed to mean something.
Yeah, I think the Nations League has outranked the Gold Cup at this point.
Ew, I hate that with every fiber of my being.
Why?
Because I want to see Martinique get better. I want Honduras, and I want.
You know how they get better? Through the Nations League.
Ew.
Just because you see the U.S. national team play doesn't mean that there's not any other games going on.
Yeah, but we only play 4 games. They're like, okay, well these 4 teams are good, so you guys, you're already in the semifinals.
And don't forget that the Nations League was created for these Caribbean teams that probably at one point only played the World Cup qualifiers, get eliminated early, and not do anything for like 3 years.
Yeah, but that was the point of the goal. Like, the Gold Cup could be, I can't think of a good nation right now. Nicaragua's World Cup. We're here, we're gonna do something in the Gold Cup. But I just want it to mean more. It doesn't mean enough.
It doesn't mean more. The U.S. brought like the last Gold Cup. The U.S. brought like a B team. Canada brought a B team. Mexico was the only one that brought the full strength squad. Because I guess they wanted to win something.
They needed
won something.
Sometimes you just, it's like sometimes you just need it, man.
It's like I know we're being. I know. Yeah, I'm not even gonna go there, but yeah.
So the game was enjoyable. We all loved it. Apparently, every reporter is super butthurt over Argentina piecing out and not stopping to talk to them. But then, don't worry, news people. Enzo Fernandez has you covered. Enzo Fernandez. So I as a person of neither or any of these cultures don't fully understand, but from what I have pieced together, there is a fan-made chant insulting the French national team because of the ancestry of their players. And after winning a Copa America against who was it, France? Oh no, Colombia. Apparently Enzo Fernandez and others, by the way, which have yet to be named from what I understand, we're out here, we're chanting this fan-made chant disparaging the heritage of the French national team, which, just what the fuck are you doing? Like, honestly, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I don't know.
Controversies and probably getting suspended. That's pretty much what they're doing.
Well, I mean, it's immediately, oh my goodness, what's the kid's name? Young kid that plays at Chelsea, Fofana. He immediately just shot out, was just like, oh, cool, racism, great. Like, so, what do you do with a guy like that? You know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh, just sell him. But like, what team's like, dope? Give me the racist. I'm cool. I mean, where do you go at that point in your career? Lazio? Like, it's just it just hammers home like it's God damn it. Why is this the most political episode we've done? Thank God Jaymes isn't here.
Oh God.
It really hammers home some of the blunted politics you see here in America of like, oh, you're of a minority group. Of course you all agree on everything and think the same, right? And it's like, you know what I mean? Yes, Argentinian people are South American. Yeah, I'll just put it this way. For a little bit of context, I was married to a Jamaican woman for a very long time. And even in just their Caribbean lives, the colorism that you're of a dark-skinned people, God forbid you be the darkest of them. You know what I mean? For fucking pure ridicule. So it just hate and ignorance comes from such a weird, insecure place that it permeates everywhere. I don't know. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just kind of stepped all over that. What
I mean, they do. So FIFA does. I mean, I don't want to give too much credit to FIFA, but the ruling parties, the FAs and FIFA or whatever, they do a decent job of cracking that stuff down. Forcing teams to play in empty stadiums, fining them. But I mean, obviously, you can't find. It's funny how you can find a team that has big money. They don't care. They'll pay the fine. But what hurts them the most is when they have to play empty stadiums.
It does. You're right. The empty stadiums has always been a good threat that I've enjoyed. But the
worst point deduction.
That is when it's repeated. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at with the Mexico thing. Like even at this point, whatever kind of like cultural, argument you want to make for the chant, just at this point it pisses everybody off. So just stop. You know what I mean? Like you're proving the point of why you shouldn't be doing it. You know what I mean?
So the thing is that chant reflects everything that's going on in the field. So whenever Mexico's losing, the fans are losing it too, and that's when they start to chant. You're not going to hear the chant if Mexico's winning.
Well, they've weaponized it because they haven't truly been punished. So there was a game Mexico needed a goal to eke out the 3 points, and they started doing the chant. So the game got stopped, and they got to rest and draw play. You know what I mean? Like
not only that, but they also what I noticed too is I recall the game against Honduras in the Nations League in the Azteca that they were doing the chant, but they were blaring out music to block it off. So
I guess if there's anything to be learned from this segment of the show, just don't be an asshole. Like for real. Just man, how do you play in the sport that's so ubiquitous across every motherfucking culture and be all supremacist about anything? You're doing the same. Just get the. And it's see. Being a fan of an MLS team, you can never buy enough good players to have the best team possible. But as an American, you can dream real hard that maybe one day we'll have our own Messi and be really good. So I like the national team. But honestly, as an idea, the national teams are just jingoistic stupid, I guess. And I hope I used that word correctly. Anyway, I'm sorry. We have rambled enough. We're going to be back with a lot of fun talk about the Euros, I think. Peace. Welcome back, fellow enemies of the fire. I am FC Neo Tokyo. That is DPG. If you've been here since the beginning of the episode, you already know that. Wow. We turn our attention to Europe. The Euros ended. The funniest thing the second funniest thing in the world happened. But Spain beat England. How would you describe that game?
Payback for your Armada.
I You know what? I was shocked England came back. I was shocked it wasn't done after the first one.
A couple of weeks ago, I said that England's probably going to drunkenly stumble into the final, and they did. But I think the Spanish team has too much talent to
oh my god, and it's so young. They're like Pedri's Pedri's the leader for the young kids. It's like, isn't he like 23 or I don't know, maybe I'm behind. Oh, I'm sorry. I said Pedri. I meant Rodri.
The thing is that, bro, it's just this England team never looked comfortable playing in this whole tournament. They had like ups and downs the whole entire time. This Spanish team just kind of bulldozed their way to the final, and
well, they won every game, didn't they?
Yeah, they won. They won every game. And I don't think they even needed penalties to win every game. They won straight up.
I mean, it's scary to think how young the Spanish team is, and just, with Argentina being Argentina, I think Spain's now the favorite for 26.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that England, I don't know, man. England's just doing England stuff, just finding a way to get to the final and losing it.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to look this up real quick because I was just about to say, I said, oh my God, Spain's the favorites, right?
Yeah.
But going into this game, don't you think maybe England's got more talent? It's
England looked like they had more experience. They were a more experienced team. These were older players. You would think that experience was on their side, or at least, was going to, outdo Spain's talent. But I guess that wasn't it. Spain started winning like 6 minutes in? Something like that. It was like
no. It was the beginning of the second half is when they scored early. Yeah. It was the 47th minute. Now, Nico Williams, his dad is that forgive me, Ikari Williams, the guy who's played for Atletico Madrid for like 30 years.
Oh, really?
Right? Or am I wrong about that?
I gotta look it up. Let me look it up.
I'm pretty sure because Nico Williams and the kid who scored the Golazo. Oh God, I can't. What's his goddamn name? I'm sorry. Yamal. Like, they're both 17 years old, dude. And Cucurella getting all the flowers because what's his name? Jamie Carragher, right? Was talking. Oh no, Phil Neville was talking nonsense about him at the beginning of the tournament. Now, it really is starting to look like Chelsea ruins everyone. Because Cucurella had a terrible year, looked absolutely out of sorts in the Premier League, but killed it. And where did he play before? Getafe? Is that how you say it? Starts with a G.
Getafe, yeah. Getafe.
They made Europe or something, and they hadn't done that forever. But this team, I didn't know none of the kids coming in. You know what I mean? It caught me by surprise until you started seeing them play. Now, when you look at England, you have Tooney, you have Ivan Tooney and Ollie Watkins on the bench because you have Harry Kane, right?
Yeah.
I guess center of midfield is where you start folding here. Foden and Rice.
You pretty much have like Man City and and who else? Those Palmer and Foden both play Man City. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No. Palmer plays for Chelsea.
Chelsea, okay.
Isn't that funny? You get so many fun names in soccer, like Nico Williams and Kylian Mbappe, and then like British motherfuckers be Luke Shaw. Anyway,
they don't sound flashy.
No, it does not sound flashy. Cole Palmer sounds like the dude who painted my house, and it was awesome. But
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane sounds like an adult film star. But So I kind of feel like England somehow England has made the final of 2 Euros, right?
Yeah, they made the finals of 2 Euros back to back.
And I'm about to say the words out loud. They underperformed. You know what I mean? Like, I would die for the U.S. to have gotten to like back-to-back World Cup finals and lost. Like, dang, we're losers.
Keep in mind, getting to a World Cup final is a lot different than getting to a Euro final. One carries more prestige.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. We just got into the conversation about continental tournaments. How much they mean.
Continental tournaments don't mean anything if you don't win the big one.
Dude, listen. I will not have you beseech? God,
Beseech.
why am I so bad at this? I won't let you talk shit about AFCON. I am not going to stand here and let you do this.
So does the U.S. men's national team feel like a big man because they beat up on Mexico for like the fourth straight year?
We would if we didn't do it every week. Get rid of Nations League. Get rid of dumb friendlies and go back to the time when Gold Cup mattered. Do it every 4 years. Don't do it every 2. Give me a real Gold Cup.
They have literally beaten Mexico so many times that Mexico doesn't even have any more confidence. And they're in disarray. And they're losing against... They can only win at home. And they're losing against teams like Honduras. So just think about that.
Yeah, but as a society, they're willing to put tax money towards trying to find UFOs. So I'm always pro-Mexican around here, to be perfectly honest with you. Actually, that's funny. I'm wearing the Jairo Torres Mexican Chicago Fire shirt. Anyway, what is happening? No, in all seriousness, I knew we talked about the game going into it. We thought Spain was going to whoop up on them, and they didn't whoop up on them, but they won. And that's wild when you just start looking at names here, and I feel like the English team is more talented and should be better, which leads us. Oh, go ahead.
You already know what I was going to say.
Was it the perfect lead-in to the next conversation, which is...
Oh, yeah.
Which brings me to the point of Gareth Southgate. Southgate Gate. Anyway.
Is that the one whose ex-wife had an affair?
No, that's John Terry.
Well, wasn't John Terry having an affair with...
Oh, whose wife was that? It wasn't Winalda's. Anyway.
Isn't it Gareth Southgate?
Yeah, God, don't make me Google this. All right, I'll Google this, but tell me your thoughts on Gareth Southgate as a human being. No, so he resigns. He's like, listen, dude, England, it's been lit. We made it to 2 Euro finals. I got laid. I'm out. So, what do you think about the coaching job that Gareth Southgate has done?
He's done, man. I mean, you know what? You kind of felt that you needed to give him a second chance because of that final, the last final. But I think it's gotten to a point where, you kind of need a more competent manager because you're right. This English team is very talented. I think if you put the right head coach, this team could go far. This team could exceed expectations, so to speak. So.
I elect Greg Berhalter for that job. No.
Oh, God.
So, in all seriousness, the reason we bring this up, we're being all coy about it, and by the way, it was Wayne Bridges' wife. And so...
Oh, there you go.
The reason we bring this up is Gareth Southgate has resigned from being the coach of England at a really opportune time, as the United States had fired Greg Berhalter. So, after the United States fired Gareth Southgate became available. Is basically what I'm getting at. And he knows Matt Crocker, who's the guy who runs U.S. Soccer. So now we're all freaking terrified. So despite the clickbaitiness of this being a talk about the Euros, let's go into the U.S. men's national team head coaching hiring process here. How do you feel about Gareth Southgate?
So before I get to that, I just want to say this is... So U.S. Soccer wants an MLS coach that they could push around, that someone that's not going to make too much noise and clean house, or demand, I don't know, excellence maybe. But going back to Gareth Southgate, I wouldn't take him. Uh, Not because of what he did with England, but I just don't think he's like an okay manager. Uh,
Southgate to the fire?
I mean, that's different. That's I
That's
think
mad
anybody.
different, right? I'm a little bit
That's
excited if we're talking
at this
Gareth
point,
Southgate to Chicago.
At this point, I'll take Greg Berhalter for the fire.
I know we're about to. That's about to happen. So.
Oof.
So Gareth Southgate, I feel like underperformed with England. It's just it's.
You have a lot of talent.
It's all individual talent too. They don't gel, and it's like they want to so badly too. You see it in their eyes.
Yeah.
It's like they're looking at each other like, why isn't this better? But it hurts. They're talented from top to bottom. You know what I mean? And it's like, I mean, except for maybe keeper might be their biggest weakness, but I feel like he underperformed with this group. The Spanish starting lineup had two 17-year-olds that played prominent roles in the final. Like, you got to be able to beat them. I don't care how good they are. That's like Mbappe in the World Cup final. Like, yeah, you got 2 or 3 goals, but like you didn't get the trophy. That's how you handle good youth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you have to handle that, and so
you kind of need like a unifying force, like one of those feel good movies about team sports, like Remember the Titans or something. You need a head coach that's gonna bring it all in and try to use everybody's abilities to their best of their ability. Find their weakness, whatever. But that's just in general. That's in all sports things. You want a coach that could, that could figure out stuff that you and I might not see, but he sees. But I think Gareth Southgate had a lot of talent of this team. I honestly think that England could play a lot better. And I think it's they need a better head coach. They need a guy that's gonna really take a step back and look at what we have, look at what England has, and say, okay, let's find a strategy that works. Let's find something that works for everybody. Let's make this into a cohesive team, not 11 individuals that are just still playing Chelsea ball or Man City ball or Liverpool ball.
No, I feel you. Now, I have to ask, because I have to admit, other than the World Cup, I don't think this is probably the second English game I've watched in like 5 years. So is his problem? It sounds like everybody was pretty kumbaya, like they were all pretty well, like it was a unit, right? So my question was, is it the tactics that he faltered at, or was it like the personality controlling aspect of things? Because if it was the personality controlling aspect, our stars aren't necessarily as big as their stars.
I know. Well, so we're talking about Triple G here. So when you have players telling the media, oh yeah, we feel comfortable with him. We talk to him. That screams like, yeah, he's not pressuring you guys. He's not really working you guys.
No, because that's what they say about Carlo Ancelotti. They're like, oh man, he makes it's a comfortable atmosphere.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, keep in mind, what about this? How many players do you know would say, hey, by the way, what's his face? Oh my god, I forgot his name. The guy that used to coach Man U.
Oh, Eric Ten Hag or whatever?
No, the real coach.
Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah, Sir Alex Ferguson. Do you hear anybody say Sir Alex Ferguson was nice to them? That we can talk to them? Anybody?
No, I don't believe I have.
Okay. Because Sir Alex Ferguson didn't take any BS. Like, he will literally, and it shows,
Yeah, but I mean, there's different managerial styles, right? Like, again, Carlo Ancelotti is fucking all good vibes, right?
Somehow Carlo Ancelotti, yeah, you're right. He might be good vibes, but he'll good vibe you into like playing serious ball.
I mean, it's the Jordan Morris factor, man. If a
God,
player is good, he'll play his best.
No, don't bring that guy, man. You know how I feel about that guy, all right?
It's my mathematical theorem of how happy players are in their current situation. Now,
well, you get what I'm saying.
I do.
I
do. So to really hammer this home, we all are terrified as a fan base. At least that's what I'm gathered from the internet about Gareth Southgate, and especially his extremely tight ties to the guy in charge who's making the hire. The call is coming from within the room, but
here, okay. So Steve Cherundolo scares me.
You're worried about Steve Cherundolo, which is understandable.
Yeah. I honestly feel that the federation is just gonna push him. There's not gonna. I'm not saying that in a good way. He's gonna be a pushover for the federation.
But why would you think that? Because okay, Berhalter played overseas, but he came back. Like your Jason Kreis, he played in MLS forever. Klopas, ride or die, right? But Steve Cherundolo played his entire career, and I looked it up after you guys said it. He did not play for the fucking Fire. Steve Cherundolo.
Cherundolo did play for the Fire.
It is not. I mean, I know Wikipedia isn't the wealth of information that it necessarily should be, but anyway, he played his entire career pushing himself in a strong top 5 European league. Then, before ever taking an MLS, USL, a job with the national team, he took it as
for Boca Negra.
Huh? You did.
I think you might have confused him for Boca Negra.
You sure did. Now, and Jaymes just went along with it because whatever. But
whoopsie daisy.
Oh God! Now I look disheveled. Like, did you see the comment? Anyway, back to my point. My point is, this man tested himself in Europe his entire career, was named the mayor of Hanover, and worked. And he could have come back and been like, "Look at me, I was on a World Cup team." And some team in MLS would have been like, "Here you go. Here's a coaching job." Or some team or the federation would be like, "Cool, why don't you throw balls out for the U17s and make $100,000?" But he didn't do that. He worked as an assistant for 10 years over in Germany, and then he got his head coaching gig and immediately won a title.
Like I said, he's coaching in the MLS. If he was so great as you kind of describe him, why is he not coaching in Hanover?
Because he's doing it the right way. He's going to come to America, conquer America, and then he's going to conquer.
But you just said he played his whole career in Germany.
He did.
He had no connection to MLS. So, me just kind of spitballing here. I kind of want to say, and I think you might agree on this, that the Bundesliga is just a little bit above MLS. All right.
I begrudgingly admit that.
If I'm coaching here, let me spitball here. If I'm coaching here, right? I'm an assistant coach here, right? But I never get to coach the first team here. But then I take a step down.
Yeah.
To a league that I have never been to.
Yeah, but what if he wins 3 cups in 4 years and then bounces back to, then he gets his coaching gig? Because what do you do? Do you start in 3rd division of Germany or do you start in MLS?
Let me ask you this. Remember that the other guy we were talking about the other day, the Italian American guy, Matarazzo. He has only coached in Italy. All right.
No, he coached in Germany. He coached Stuttgart
in Italy. Yeah, and Germany. I'm sorry. Yeah. So he didn't go to the MLS to prove your point. He didn't go to the MLS to do it the right way. He found a legit gig and stayed with it because he is just that good.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I am more in the camp of Pochettino. I'd rather see a different manager than Cherundolo.
I agree with you. I
would much rather see a different manager than Cherundolo, but I don't like seeing all the Cherundolo hate. I feel like he's a better candidate than we're acting like, but I would rather someone else at this current stage for the U.S. team. He would be the perfect 2027 hire.
He would. I mean, even then, like, let's say, well, even then, it's like kind of like iffy because what if Pochettino takes over, or the other guy, Matarazzo, and they do really good in the World Cup. Let's say they get to the semis or the quarterfinals. They went down fighting, and people were like, yeah, this U.S. team's that really grown. I would be more inclined to keep Pochettino or Matarazzo. I mean, I would be like, you know what? We got a good thing going here.
I don't ever agree with that. I feel like the national team's got to have a new coach every 4 years.
I mean, look at France. I mean, did France ever change their head coach?
They did not, but okay. But that is so rare. You can point to like 3 countries on the planet that's like that. Italy hung on to a guy too long. Germany hung on to a guy who too long. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's because.
By the way, actually, I don't totally want to interrupt you, but like, what do you think of that guy, Yogi Low? I'm as a nose picking fan myself. I feel disrespected by the man who eats them afterwards. Come on, dog.
If the man can take you to a World Cup final and win,
eat all the boogers you want.
Yeah. I mean,
what is this, 7th grade?
I don't care. I don't care if he's picking him out of Christian Pulisic. I don't care.
Christian, come here.
I'm your winner.
Oh shit. Okay. Another wrinkle into this is Rafa Benitez says he would like to do it. This is wonderful news, and not because I want Benitez as coach, but because I didn't think he was still alive. It's good to know he's still with us.
I had to look it up because it's been a while. What's the last team he coached?
Hold on. Oh, damn it.
Well, fine. What was the team before that?
Okay, Everton.
Okay, what was the team before that?
It wasn't Liverpool. There was one more in between. Was it Newcastle? No, wait, was it Italian?
No.
Dang.
This is gonna blow your mind though. I'm gonna give you a clue.
All right.
What was a league, a country league, or not a country league, but just a league that is very kind of, they're worse than MLS, but they're big spenders. They're huge, but they used to be huge.
Besiktas.
No.
Not Turkey?
Not Turkey.
Damn, was it Scotland?
I said worse than MLS. And they're huge spenders.
Do you think, okay. Celtic? I don't know.
All right.
You got me.
Okay, I'm gonna throw out the team name right now. It's gonna blow your mind. Dalian Professional.
Is that the Indian Super League or
the Chinese Super League?
Oh, okay. He got swept up in that first round of gentrification when it was China before Saudi Arabia. Anyway, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. All right, so did we...
Keep in mind, this Rafa Benitez has coached some of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
Inter Milan, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Valencia. He actually had that really good Valencia team from the early 2000s. I mean, the man has talent. I'll give him that.
Frank Yallop won an MLS Cup. Sometimes the game passes you by.
Yeah. But well, Frank Yallop didn't go from coaching Valencia to coaching Real Madrid or coaching Chelsea or Inter Milan or the list goes on and on and on. Liverpool, so
those Liverpool teams were fun with Fernando Torres.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, you know what? That man is like a wealth of experience. Like,
So you would not be mad at a Rafa Benitez?
I would not be mad at Rafa Benitez if you give him everything he needs. If
Well, he can't sign any players. What the hell is he going to need? A helicopter? Like you're
no. I think if you give him a say in all aspects of the national team, not just the men's, but like youth, kind of set the basis of what do you, where you want to be from point A to point B in X amount of years, and how do you want the team to play, between point A to point B in X amount of years. So I think if he comes with a strategy, we might not be the flashiest team because we might not have all the talent in the world like in Spain or Italy or your Englands of the world, but if we could find a way to turn like this scrappy U.S. men's national team into like a powerhouse, or at least a team that's gonna go down fighting and like literally, take you to the limit wherever it is, whether it's Brazil, Argentina. If we can do that with this U.S. men's national team, by all means, I'm all for it.
I don't know.
We're not gonna beat Argentina in the World Cup.
No,
not yet. Not yet, at least. We're not gonna beat Brazil in the World Cup. Not yet, at least. We're not gonna beat France. We're not gonna beat England. We're not gonna beat Spain. Not yet. But if you can build the basis to get to that point, I'm all for it.
Okay, I feel you. It makes me nervous. I don't want to fall into
hiring is gonna make anybody nervous. Like you can have we've seen this happen in MLS all the time. You can have like the best coach in the world, and he will go,
You're right.
belly up in MLS teams. So
it's tough to get this right. I mean, the word is they reached out to Pochettino. Rafa Benitez threw his head threw his head into the ring. Let's see. Southgate is terrifying, but I mean, I don't know. He has a chance to shut us all up.
I like Pochettino. I like the Pochettino.
I
pick.
agree. Honestly, I like that as well.
I like the Pochettino, pick. If we can't get Pochettino, then fine. Maybe consider a guy like Rafa Benitez. But whatever you do, don't consider Steve Cherundolo because you're gonna set him up to fail. You're gonna set him up.
I like how everybody throws Wilfred Nancy into this conversation without asking him first.
You're setting him up. You're setting him up to fail also.
Yeah,
I think. You know what? It's tough, right? Because these are two guys that once you get a program going, by all means, you give them a clean slate. You give them like a 2027. If things don't go well in 2026, you give them a 2027 or 2031. These are guys that need those 4 years to kind of build character, mold this team into what they want. If you throw him now with 2 years until the World Cup, he's not going to get to that point. Come on. What's the next competitive game for the U.S. national team? A Nations League game against I don't even know who.
If you ask me, the next important game is June of 2026.
Exactly.
We're
not doing anything special.
Yeah, there's no World Cup qualifying to like test the hypothesis of any of these coaches.
And you only
you know what I mean?
And you only could beat Mexico so much before you're like, man, we got to get some better competition.
If for real, it's like I don't want to watch the Globetrotters versus the Washington Senators anymore.
That's what it feels like anymore. Like this whole, it doesn't even matter if they play in LA or New York. You can have like a 90%, stadium that's filled with Mexican, fans, and it's gonna be the same result. Like they're not fazed by that. No. I'm glad they've got to that point because it wasn't always like that before. So, yeah.
Well, hopefully you're not phased, and we're gonna take a break because I think somehow we covered all things Euros. But anyway, we'll be back to cover the Chicago Fire and just yeah. We'll be back.
Ooh.
Peace.
I just lost my voice. This is probably one of the craziest games I've been to. Wow! You know what? Forget everything I said!
Welcome back, fellow enemies of the fire. We are here to discuss the non-stop heart-racing action that was the 0-0 tie of the Chicago Fire and the New York City football clubs. God, that was the most 0-0 game in the history of 0-0 games.
It looked like both teams had no idea what they were doing. There's no, I mean, New York was dealing with injuries. The Fire had no excuse. They couldn't do anything.
It was so disjointed. No one could string anything together. I remember watching the game being like, oh, I should remember this and talk about it later. And then just by the end of the game, it was just like, how do I like Men in Black that game out of my brain? So I mean, honestly, who started? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares anymore, man? So we lost. We lost 0-0. That's how it feels. Like it was just another crappy, wasted opportunity in a wasted, dead, crappy season.
Yep.
Shaqiri's supposedly coming back.
Oh God! No, man! Come on. Well, they couldn't find a suitor for him. They couldn't say, "Hey, we'll give him to you. Just sign him."
No, you got to bluff a little bit. Hold on, before we get into that, I would like to say a few more things about the game itself. A section or sector Latino disappeared. Like honestly, it was the first time ever I'd seen the sector Latino just not be there on a Saturday even. Like, and when they rolled so heavy the game before, because it was all just the other groups of Section 8, and then me and the few other white people who sit in sector Latino. And it was shocking. So the atmosphere was
protesting.
I don't think so. I don't know. Nobody told me anything.
I mean, if they're protesting, cool. I mean, I get that part. But what happened? Did they forget we have a game?
It was kind of wild. It was kind of wild, and like, it's just, now might not be the time to bring this up, but like, just win some fucking games, and we won't bring stupid shit up on a show.
Yeah.
Just the fighting, the infighting, the trying to get chance going, and then the other guy trying to like drown you out with the drums. And the best part was when in a show to like try and be in sync, one section was singing the other section's song, and then the other guy kicked into it, but like off time. So then neither section were on the same time singing the same song. It's just like, it sucks. It all sucks. I wish. I wish different for us. We deserve better. But beyond that, DPG, may I show you what you missed out on?
I gotta go pick mine up.
So our season ticket supporter gift was apparently they think we're a bunch of 80s punk rockers because they gave us a bunch of pins. I liked it. I like it. I just wish there was more stuff to it. I will tell you, the best part is they did pick the best kits.
Yep.
The Puma kit, the fan-made black one, the old school red, and then they made the newest one because whatever. They should have made the confetti. But anywho, we also got within that same box a scarf, which I didn't know about. I didn't know that we were getting the scarf.
That's a nice looking scarf.
Yeah, it's cool. It's got the, and then on the back, this is really good for the audio listeners, but Forever Red, and then Chicago Fire.
I really got to pick mine up.
Season ticket member. So that was cool. That part was cool. So that will be on the wall soon. But
you can take down the yellow one.
No, that's got to be up there for history, bro. No, that abomination has to live forever.
That belongs in a museum.
Right? That's like, I've got one of those hats, and it's probably the best hat I own. And Jaymes was like, oh my God, that hat, that's got to be worth money. And I was like, no, it smells like ass. I have a scarf, though. That's probably going to be worth money.
That belongs in a museum like Indiana Jones.
Right? No, I just baby, we've been robbed. Oh my God, is my scarf still there? No. But I like it. We got a cool scarf. It is a cool scarf, and the pins are cool as much as I made fun of them. Like, I mean, I don't have a sleeveless jean jacket to wear to put them on, but, they are cool.
Me personally, I wouldn't take them out the pin. I mean, I wouldn't take them out the box. I would just leave them in the box. If I had a legit bar in a man cave, I would probably like put it on one of the shelves just to show them off. That's about it. I mean,
see, that's the thing. It's like, why get it if you're not gonna do something? Maybe I'll pin them all like to a scarf. And they'll be, you know what I mean?
Pin it to a scarf that you're not gonna use.
Yeah.
What if you lose one?
Oh, I mean, God, I don't remember the last time I pulled those off the wall. But I will. But it was supposed to rain, so my fiance ditched me. She didn't come to the game. And so I go to the game, doesn't rain, which is great. I mean, drenched in sweat because of the humidity. And then the second I get off the train, I'm like, I'm less than a mile from my crib. I'm so close. The bus is like 20 minutes. I'm like, I'm going to walk, and then just torrential downpour. I had to stop at I got like 2 bus stops down and had to stop and just wait for it. So that was my night. It was a boring soccer game. I got home and I was soaked. It was just my shoes are unusable still. No, I don't know about that. I haven't checked them. But anyway,
they're squeakers now.
So despite all that complaining, I got to be honest. I'll say it out loud. It's way more fun to go to the games during a terrible season than it is to sit at home and watch him. Good God. By this time, if I didn't have tickets, I wouldn't be watching the games by now. I'd just be doing something else on Friday, or I'd be watching 360 and be like, oh, the Fire scored? Oh, they got scored on? Oh. You know what I mean? Like, just, it's way more fun to go.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I did watch the game. I was watching it from home because I thought it was gonna rain like hell, and it actually did. So I mean, I would have got stuck in the rain on driving back.
You would have driven back in the rain. I got hit.
And I honestly, if it's from if I'm driving by myself, by all means. I mean, I don't care. It's just me. But if I'm with my kid, I'm not gonna put him in that kind of situation. That was a horrible night Saturday night. It was like tornado warnings, and I think my kids woke up because of all the thunder that was going on.
It was wild. Which is to be honest, that's why we don't have Jaymes today. He lost power due to a tornado in the area yesterday, and he's still without power. So
joining the generators.
Yep. Well, so I mean, literally our lives were just as interesting as that game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I brought it up to be funny, but like they're talking like Shaqiri is coming back because they don't have any deals in place. Because what team would pay you a transfer fee for Shaqiri right now? Why would and then even if they won't, why would he terminate his contract? Why not sit around for 4 months and make another? Well, wait. Why not sit around for a couple months and make another $4 million? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, either way, the terminate his contract. They still got to pay him that money.
Right, so, you can't. Well, and we don't have a buyout anymore.
So at this point, what we do? We have one more.
No, they didn't. That didn't enact. Because I was listening to somebody else talking about how, like, yeah, we paid out Shaqiri, Shabilko, and they didn't. Yeah, I mean, I heard we were getting an extra one, but I don't think it ever actually like happened.
Okay, so yes. So yes, I guess we're stuck with them.
All right, well, somehow, not only do we not have Jaymes, but we've lost DPG now. So I will do you all a favor, and we'll wrap this one up. So the Fire on Wednesday are going to play, which is tomorrow, are going to play FC Cincinnati. They're going to lose. And then they're going to play Miami, which will be Messi-less on the weekend, and I still think they're going to lose. So I say 2-0, 1-0. Fire are not scoring any goals. We're all going to be sad. And next week, all 3 of us will hopefully be here to complain about it. And we'll have to plan something fun because there are no more summer tournaments to wet our whistle. Obviously, the transfer window is going to open up, and who knows? Maybe we'll have a nice special transfer episode, or maybe we'll just stretch it out and try and clickbait you in every episode. So on behalf of Jaymes, who is powerless, and DPG, who is gone, and FC Neo Tokyo, we love you. Like, subscribe, comment, kick that like button, punt that like button, whatever nonsense we always say. Peace out, everybody. Bye.